Hey guys, it's Katie at scrappinkaty.ctmh.com, and I am the last video of the Christmas Tags video collab with the creative design team, and I'm going to show you how to make quick and easy farmhouse style Christmas tags. So we are starting off with a few products from close to my heart. I've got the Wonderland card making stamp set in thin cuts, and there are a couple of images I'm going to use on that one. And then of course I am pulling out the For All Occasions. It's heavy in sentiments, and I'm going to be using Merry Christmas, but there is also a Happy Holidays. And then finally the buildable tags. And you've seen some of my friends use this, so I thought why not go ahead and use it again. Now I've cut two White Daisy cardstock bases. Now these are the round bases. And on one of those, we will be cutting it apart. So you want to line it up, and I'm going to be using my trimmer that has measurements on the left side as well. We are going to be cutting this tag into 3/4 inch segments. Now you want to make sure that when you cut it, you lay it off to the side. That way, just in case you've messed up or you've kind of cut one of the strips crooked, they'll all line up in the end. So again, you can see here that I'm just moving that tag over to that 3/4 inch line, cutting it, and then making sure that I place them on top over there to the left. And we just have a couple more cuts. It sure is handy that a 4.5 inch tag cuts into 6 perfect 3/4 inch strips. So I'm just going to line this up, make sure it's straight, and then go ahead and cut that. Now for the most part, that is done. And then where the farmhouse style comes in is this mimics shiplap that is so popular right now. Now I am taking a pebble ink pad and I am just going direct to paper. Now the bottom one will only have ink on the top edge, and then all the center ones I will ink up both edges. And then I'm just going to do that on all those strips. Again, not really heavy on that inking, just enough to make it look like it's shadowed. Now real shiplap has a little space in between, but by adding this ink, you don't really have to worry about the space, nor do you have to worry about it lining up correctly. Now again, on this top one, I'm just inking that bottom edge, and then I will put that up, and then this tag comes together rather quickly. I am just going to apply some tape adhesive all on the base of that tag that I kept intact. Now you can see I'm just going around the edges, and then of course the top. I'm going to put a couple of horizontal strips of tape and then one just down the center. And then I will just pick up those strips of paper and adhere them directly to that tag base. Now they'll go flush on top of each other, but because of that slight inking of the edges, it will look like there's some dimension. So I'm going to just continue to adhere these on top. And again, there are a couple that are kind of, I don't know if my tag shifted while I was cutting it, but it's a little crooked to my liking. But once you get the sentiment and the little icons from that Wonderland card making stamp set, you really can't tell that much. So there are two images, that little sleigh and then those cute little trees. I am going to be building the sleigh. Now I've done the trees off camera, so you'll see that in just a second. So I kind of want that slanted in the middle, so I'm going to take Merry Christmas from that For All Occasions stamp set. I already have it on my block, and I'm going to be masking up that sentiment. I am inking that up in evergreen ink. It's more of a true Christmas color, and since my sleigh is inked up in candy apple red, I just thought that that evergreen was just a nice contrast. So you can see that I have placed a post-it note on my tag base just to make sure that Merry does not get stamped off. And I am just going to ink down that Christmas. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the Merry. So I'm going to ink up the Merry again in that evergreen ink. And then I'm going to use that post-it note where the sleigh is to make sure that that Christmas doesn't ink onto my tag. Now, even if I were to have cleaned my stamp in between, I still I still wanted to use that masking just to make sure that no ink is transferred. Now for that sleigh, I am using some 3D foam tape, and I'm just going to cut a couple of strips and attach it to the back of the sleigh. You could also attach those strips, those shiplap strips, with 3D foam tape as well. But that's a lot of foam tape. I know that I keep lots of foam tape in my stash, but if you don't want to use that much, then by inking those edges like I did, it definitely gives it the dimension that foam tape would. So I'm just going to peel the backing off of this sleigh, and then I am going to get that adhered down. So for the top of the tag, I'm just using some ribbon from my stash. I've chosen black and white gingham and then some red and white baker's twine to kind of tie into the farmhouse theme. Just going to tie a knot up at the top, but again, if you were attaching this to a bag or a Christmas present, you would just want to tie it around the handles or the bow or the ribbon that you're already using. Now to finish off this tag, I am going to be using some of our loose snowflake sequins. I've already attached those to our micro dots, and I'm just going to adhere 3 on this tag. And then here is a look at the other tag I did with those Christmas trees. Again, the same concept, just using a different image. And here's a look at those shimmery snowflakes, a perfect addition to these simple tags. Now here are a couple of shots of the simple farmhouse style tag that is so popular right now. Again, using some of the wonderful Close to My Heart products that are available. And if you liked what you saw here, as well as the other videos in this series, we have reopened the registration for 31 Days of Christmas Cards. I'll leave a link down below so you can join that Facebook group and get all of that exclusive content. And if you missed any of the videos in this tag collab, there is a link to the playlist right there. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and sign up for notifications, as well as like and comment on this video if you feel so compelled. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching.